Hello everyone, this is Kian. I am currently at Tokyo International Airport Haneda Terminal 3. Today I am flying British Airways flight BA6 back to London in Club World. In this video, I am sharing my personal experience flying the British Airways Club World product. Haneda Airport only opened check-in counters 3 hours in advance. I thought this time because there's an earlier flight, the check-in counter would have remained open. However, that's not the case. To be fair, it's quite strange the check-in only opens 3 hours in advance for a big flight. Maybe it's because they think Japanese efficiency is enough. In Haneda, I think 3 hours is fine, but the problem is the security is usually quite busy and I've got duty-free to pick up, etc. So the extra time spent doing random things before being able to get into the lounge takes quite a long time. I'm here about like 1 hour earlier than the 10:15 check-in opens, so I'll just have to wait. It seems the flight before mine has been overbooked. They are looking for passengers volunteering being downgraded. The check-in didn't start at 10:15 as advertised. I think this is very British Airways anyway. It's never on time for anything. It seems my flight has been overbooked as well. There are 2 security checkpoints in Haneda Terminal 3, and it's great to know that the fast-track security has been reopened last year and year before. This fast-track security remained closed due to COVID, and now it's open. So that's great because the security queue can be quite long from time to time. After a crazy 10 to 20 minutes running around in the airport picking up my duty-free pre-orders, now I am sitting in the lounge. I am in the Cathay Pacific's lounge in Haneda Airport. At the check-in, all of the staff were directing Premier passengers to use JALU Sakura Lounge. However, that lounge is always really busy. Therefore, I chose the Cathay Pacific Lounge. As British Airways and Cathay are both One World members, I am able to use the Cathay Lounge as well. This lounge is super quiet. There's barely anyone around. Of course, Cathay Lounge has the classic noodle bar. In general, I think for Haneda, I do recommend coming to the Cathay Lounge if you are flying any One World member airlines or any other partnership airlines with Cathay Pacific. It is just much more peaceful, and then the food choice is more interesting. Unless you're a super big fan of Japanese food, then the JALU Lounge is for you. Back on the topic of check-in, I just don't really know why they only opened the check-in 3 hours before departure. By the time check-in was open, there was a huge crowd of different cabins, people waiting to check in. And somehow today the check-in was not on time, which is super unusual for Japan. It seems that the team leader who is working for British Airways specifically came to the check-in counters late, and then they had to have a debriefing of certain points which has to be noticed for today's check-in. And therefore the check-in opened around 10 or 15 minutes later. So yeah, I'm not very impressed by Haneda's check-in situation. I just moved from the noodle bar area to a lounging area. There are multiple lounges by the windows, and the window is so clear and big. I could see the entire airport.
It's such a nice view.
I just went to the bar to ask for a glass of champagne. However, they don't have champagne in Cathay Lounge. They have sparkling wine. Cheers. Oh my god, it tastes vile. It tastes like some cheap sparkling wine from all-inclusive resort.
その他のお客様はグループ番号順にご案内いたしますので、今しばらくお待ちください。
Here's a seat. Here's a secret compartment. Yeah, the middle seat has slightly more storage. Also, a slight gap on the side of my seat as well. I'm on board the aircraft and I'm super tired because of carrying the heavy duty-free items. Cheer. On the Tokyo route, sleepers are available, which look like this. They are not as good quality as the ones in first class.
Champagne. Would you like to try or is
No, it's
is that okay? No.
Thank
Okay,
you very
thank you.
The cabin crew just came back to me saying that champagne should be served in a flute. So now I've got 2 glasses of champagne. I'm very hungry because the flight departed around 1:15 and it is now 3:30 and I haven't had lunch. So I'm just going to dig in my starter. I opted for the duck. There's also a side of a salad with edamame and corn and pearl barley. Sauce is aojiso dressing, which is basically prepare leaf. As soon as I put it on my plate, I could smell the very strong leaf smell. I feel the food is actually better than the food departing from Heathrow, even though BA uses Do & Co from London. Somehow, Japanese cuisine just has like that magic. I can't resist. So far, so good. I quite enjoyed the starter and the salad. For the main dish, Oscar ordered tagine because his first choice red snapper is not available as in too many people ordered red snapper. My first choice is steak. It's actually pretty good. I don't know why some people say the steak is always like a rubber or super hard on board. I think this is pretty decent. Maybe once again, it's the Japanese catering magic. Yep, steak is very good.
Excellent!
For dessert, Oscar opted for opera cake. And for me, as I said, consistently, I don't like sweet stuff. So I ordered some cheese. Whoever prepared the cheese is very generous. Look at this brie, it's like almost a quarter. I just finished my meal and I'm just having some Chinese green tea to relax. The meal ended 3 hours after departure, which is in line with what happened during the flight from London to Tokyo as well. Personally, I think it's a bit slow, but I suppose this flight is really long. It's over 14 hours in air. Therefore, I think it's okay. I think the service and the cabin crews on this flight are better than the flight from London to Haneda. I guess it's just my personal experience. It's just this one is smoother and I felt the cabin crew put more effort in the delivery of the meal service. I mean the Club World lavatory. I think there's only one between these two small cabins and another one at the very front of the aircraft. So as usual, the amenities available is by White Company. There's a hand wash and a hand cream. For a standard sink and the normal Boeing 787 contactless flush. And a full body mirror.
When I lay down completely, my feet can touch the bulkhead, so I think the seat is slightly on the short side.
Many hours later.
I don't really know what happened, but I was super tired and I was asleep for over 7 hours straight after the first meal service. And when I woke up, it was about maybe half an hour before the second meal service started. Oscar ordered the mushroom. And I ordered the tuna. On the side, there's a mini cake as well and a bread roll. Oscar found some miscellaneous texture on the plate. This is very Japanese. Everything has to be mochi mochi. For the main dish, Oscar opted for the crispy corn aubergine. And I am having a cold beef salad. In the aubergine dish, there's a huge piece of brie at the bottom. Let me try my beef salad. It comes with a sauce again. It's quite good. It still has a hint of Japanese. I feel like for all the dishes coming back from Tokyo Haneda to London, all have some Japanese twist, even if the dish might not be a classic Japanese dish. I just realized the dessert wasn't a cake, it's actually a coconut mango mousse. The mousse is very smooth and is full of coconut flavor, and it doesn't taste artificial, so it's good. Overall, except the delay at check-in at Tokyo Haneda, I had a very smooth journey and a very pleasant flight. I'm really well rested and I enjoyed all of the meals provided on board. I think the catering at Haneda is better than the catering at Heathrow. In addition, I think the cabin crews on this flight are more proactive and friendlier than the cabin crews from London Heathrow. I hope you enjoyed my video sharing my experience flying from Tokyo Haneda to London Heathrow on British Airways Club World. If you enjoyed, please do like and comment below, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.